All right, Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Barak, Yahawah, Barak, Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash, name of the Heavenly Father, everybody ignorantly calls God. In the ancient Hebrew, which is the Lashawan Qadash, his true name is Yahawah. Bahasham means in the name of. And Yahawashi is the Holy One of Israel, who everybody ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah, who was slain at the foundations of the earth of destruction. The men that the Heavenly Father gave to the only begotten Son to finish his work. So we always we want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone who led us to this truth and been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and so forth, the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elect and to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we part of that number. Lord willing, this be edifying us to fear in the name of the Lord and the striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 5. It is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 9 is unto a ring. 2nd Ezra chapter 5 verse 42. The waterfall, you sincere believers tuning in wherever you may be across the four corners of the earth, especially here in America, Babylon the Great. Because we're finna go through a time where we need to be relieved from this, delivered from this place by Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash, Barak, Atham. So you sincere believers out there, and we're gonna get into a lesson Lord put spirit on me to do for the day. It says Putin gives army 3 weeks to seize entire region of Ukraine. So also it says birds on meth and fentanyl. And it's various end time topics. So we're gonna go into a couple of these things, a couple other topics. Lord willing, is edifying to the flock. So go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with the title. Wait till my screen go over here. Okay. So it says Putin gives military 3 weeks to seize entire region of Ukraine. And it says Kyiv. You know, it's one of the cities of Ukraine. So, and why I wanted to put this out there, because there was also another article that said Russia said that they were going to use nuclear missiles if they didn't win in Ukraine. So that was an article I did about 3-4 days ago. So now this article is coming out a couple of days ago. And dictatorate. Okay, 3 weeks away to seize full control of Ukraine's Luhansk oblast. Okay, so it says so basically they got a deadline. They're gonna do something. You know, they're gonna do some drastic measures. I think that's how you say that. A deputy ahead of the GUR, which is the Ukrainian main intelligence, dictatorate, said during an interview with the Interflux Ukraine that Kremlin wants control of Luhansk before Russia's upcoming presidential elections. Okay. Right. It says the country's presidential election is scheduled to be held on this time. A lot of stuff's going to be happening just before the Shabbat, or not the Shabbat, but the Passover. Okay. And that's a big deal. It's going to be a lot of things changing in America, Babylon the Great, because this will be the beginning, the beginning of our year as Israelites coming up, this Passover. So Russian President Vladimir Putin is overwhelming favorite to win. The Western observers have said is a rigged con. Not talk a little bit about deadline, doing something else. It's going to be more serious than what has been being done. Okay, and we know that what that is for these other nations, along with Russia, which is going to be their leader, to destroy America, Babylon the Great. So this is Jeremiah 51:11. And it reads, make bright the arrows, right? And those arrows are talking about intercontinental ballistic missiles. Gather the shields. The Lord have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. And that's talking about, Russia. The Medes in the Bible is Russia. Also, Gog and Magog, So it says, for this vice against Babylon, this is Babylon, America, Babylon the Great. This is the revived Roman Empire, spiritually Sodom and Egypt, which, spiritually Sodom and Egypt is found in Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. This place has taken on the image of Babylon. When you read into Revelation chapter 13, it talks about a beast that rises and has 7 heads and 10 horns, and that is that United Nations, NATO, and EU system. Okay? And they are coming against this place to what? It says, we're going to read as well, for this device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple, which is the tabernacle of King David being rebuilt. Rawchaa, Yasharallah, Shalom, bro. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash, Barak, Atham. Barakatah. The water for tuning in, bro. So, this device, these BRICS nations, is a device of the vengeance of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17, it reads, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. You see, so America, Babylon the Great is not going to be able to buy off their enemies anymore to keep them at bay. Ezekiel 7, verse 19. And because of that, this is what's going to happen here. And it reads, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. And what's that day of the wrath of the Lord? What is he setting up? The Medes, okay, Russia and the other nations. That's part of his wrath, the day of the wrath of his, But when you go into the prophecy, as you read on into Ezekiel, when you go to the 34th and it's Ezekiel 38th chapter, it speaks to this as well. But when you go into the 39th chapter, it talks about what's going to happen to Russia after that. And these other nations, they're going to get taken down by Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Right? So as we keep reading, in the day of the wrath of the Lord, they shall not satisfy their soul, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. So that's why we were talking about yesterday. Jake, this is not your rest. As it reads in Micah 2:10, this is not your rest. So you don't need to be just out here chasing the bag. You need to be focusing on this doctrine more than anything. But Jake, 2/3 of our people are going to keep searching for this money and desiring and having these riches, and it's a stumbling block, so they can't get saved. Okay, and they get caught up in the day of the Lord. So next article. There's some judgment going out as usual. It's always judgment coming on the planet. Every day he brings his judgment to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5 says at least 8 dead and 1 injured in a head-on collision in California. So 8 people were killed and 1 person was injured Friday after a pickup collided with a minivan carrying farm workers to their job. California Highway Patrol said they got a little video. We'll let it play out. Man, that is the judgment of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. That's what it looked like, man. And the Lord got Esau, Edom, the so-called white man out there cleaning up his mess. That's their job. Okay. Let's read this from the bro. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25, and it reads, every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. So that's why we do this. We do this over trying to be rich in the world, trying to be well off, trying to have stability in this world, like 2/3 of our people do. We content with what we have. Sometimes we don't have certain things, but that's part of your fasting anyways, to go without. And this is nothing that Jake is not incapable of. Jake can do this. We've been going out. We've been going without for our kingdom and our nation for a long time. So we can finish this out, as the men, women, and children, starting with the men, of course. But we can finish this out. And the Lord's putting that spirit on the hopeful elect, to have that spirit of, I don't even give a shit no more. Whatever, Lord, do what you got to do. And not anxious, not nothing, just no emotion. That's what he's doing. And sometimes we do get emotional, but for the most part, we like, whatever, man. And he even put that spirit on the women too, to be like, look, whatever. I'm going to serve my man. I'm going to do this. Make sure I'm serving Yahawashi. I'm ready to go home. He's making us hate this place. He's making us not want to be here, And we've always hated this place. This is Romans chapter 8, verse 6, same brother, Rawchaa Yasharala. Romans chapter 8, verse 6, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. See? Verse 7, because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High. So like an enemy, you're an enemy to the Most High if you're putting that first, right? Then it reads, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither intended or neither indeed can be. right? He got some other ones. We're going to read them all. 1 John chapter 2, verse 17. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. See? It's simple. You do this work, Jake, you put your all into this, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to abide forever. Lord, when we are that number, if you're of the elect. Because if you can't make yourself part of the elect, you had to have been chosen. Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. So when you see in chariots come by, Jake, you see in Jacob's trouble a big ass beast come out eating Esau, eat him, and some motherfucker who think the game, this is a fucking joke. Don't be dismayed at it. Don't be shocked. Just, hey, that's what he's getting us prepared for. Okay? For the heathen are dismayed at them. They're going to be like, oh, shit. Or else we're just going to be like, all right, we read about this. We've been preparing about it. It's Acts chapter 5, verse 29. You know, brother lighten up the comment board. We're going to read them. And it reads, then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. You know, so we're going to do this. You don't want to do this, Jake? Cool. Doesn't bother us. It's got nothing to do with us. So at least 8 dead died there, right? We're going to put in a few precepts about this. But there's something else going on. It says at least 15 killed in fire thought to have been started by an electric bicycle in eastern China. More judgment coming out from Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Right? Going to read a couple precepts on this. And we're going to keep moving. This is First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. And it reads, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. You know, there's so many amount of souls they got took by Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi for whatever, carnal reasons that they had. The Lord took them because they were the enemy to the Most High, and it was their time to go. That's why we tell Jake to repent, because you never know, tomorrow could be the last time the Lord tired of your ass being carnal minded, Jake, and he take your ass off the planet. This Proverbs chapter 24, verse 21. And it reads, my son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change, right? So we don't like dealing with Jakes that are going to keep changing the doctrine. They're going to keep, because sometimes Jake will make a mistake, but that don't mean he's trying to change the doctrine. And, you know, he come back and make a correction video. We all have had those, you know, and but we're talking about the ones that's literally going against the doctrine. They just, they just doing it just because they really want to be enemies with the Most High. They really want to, they think about themselves more than the brotherhood. And the brotherhood is the image of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. If you're not dealing with the brotherhood, if you don't want to deal with the brotherhood, that means you don't want to deal with the Heavenly Father's setup. That's what he set up for us to be saved by their teachings that they got from Yahawashi. Okay? So it says, meddle not with them giving the change. Why? Verse 22, for their calamity shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the ruin of them both? And we don't want to be a one to get into that, that mind of thinking about how the wicked is going to perish, because he even said that, the Lord said that to Ezra. He said, don't worry about the multitude that perish. You need to worry about salvation. You need to worry about, the hopeful elect, the brotherhood. Stick around there and, make sure that you staying focused and pointing out things. We didn't go think about them people getting in that wreck. That just happened. So we just showing you this is the judgment of the Lord, right? Who knoweth the ruin of them both? For these things also belong to the wise. It is not good to have respect of persons in judgment. So that's why you see us coming with that same attitude towards judgment, concerning the Most High. But it depends on the situation. So you got to look at the situation and then judge righteously. And in that judgment, it don't matter, whatever it was, they was not following Yahweh, Yahawashi. Okay. Now, bro got a lot more precepts. We're gonna read them. It's a good one. Psalms chapter 89, verse 14. Justice and judgment Or the habitation of thy throne, mercy and truth shall go before thy face. Right? It's going with what I was just saying. Job chapter 4, verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? See? That's why we don't have respect of persons. But there are scriptures that say, like, precious is the death of his saints to the Lord. So there's different types of, it depends on the person's actions. What they doing is how we judge that situation, because some brothers have perished in the truth. And we looked at it like Lord said, sometimes he take away a brother to keep him from the evil that's to come. That happens, but they, Lord willing, they come back and they're risen up when it's time for us to go in the chariots. That's a different type of judgment compared to somebody who's not serving Yahawah, Yahawashi. So 1 Peter 4:17, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. And if it begin at us, what shall the end of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? Simple as that. This is all stuff that I'm saying right now. The brother's just, basically putting it up there, since I'm just paraphrasing it. The water, bro. Verse 18, if the righteous be scarcely saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Right? So we got also, this is a good one too, going into the one people that are giving in the change. You gotta, you don't want to deal with them. Revelation chapter 22, verse 19. These are like the last scriptures in the whole book. So this how serious this is, Jake. You got to understand that you can't go around and be messing with the doctrine. Revelation chapter 22, verse 9. If any man shall take away from the words of the books of this prophecy, the Most High, right, shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book. And we don't want to be that, Jake. We don't want to be that when they get caught up in that. And Jake means Jacob. You go into Genesis chapter 35, verse 10, it says Jacob's name was turned into Israel. Jacob is Israel. And that's who the Bible is dealing with. And it ain't even dealing with all of Israel. It's only dealing with the elect, because they're the ones who are what? They're not changing the doctrine. So Psalm chapter 18, verse 26, with the pure, thou wilt show thyself pure, and with the froward, thou wilt show thyself froward. See? So, some good scriptures. Verse 27, for if thou wilt save the afflicted people, but wilt bring down high looks, so you want to make sure that you're not someone, you want to make sure you balance yourself. You dealing with a froward Jake, you can talk to him, a little bit more austere. You're dealing with one that's more, more pure, more contrite, more, you want to talk to them that way, to respect them, and this is another one. Romans chapter 9, verse 6, not as though the word of the Most High have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So that's showing you that there's 2/3 of us out here that's not really Israel. They still part of the seed line. They still in the physical, they still are kin, but since they're changing the doctrine, they're not considered Israel until after they get to the other side, man. So, the water for the precepts, bro. We're gonna keep moving. Also, this is some things. This is one that my elder sent me. Okay, this is one my elders sent me, and I want to go into a couple things about it just to kind of show, like, sometimes you want to some of these articles, man. Esau Edom is an accuser, and sometimes you could listen to something and that person didn't even really do that, and that's why you want to have that mindset to be merciful, just like the elders are saying, because
a 40-year-old man who fatally shot himself.
Hold on, like you don't even know Esau Edom. Like we're gonna listen a little bit, and I'm gonna explain it. But basically, Esau Edom could have came in there and planted some drugs in your house, or came in there and shot everybody and said you killed yourself. They could have did that. We don't know. That kind of stuff happens to people, man. So when you see one day they're gonna try to accuse the brethren, they're gonna try to put us up there and say we did this. He might not have did that. So that's why you gotta, when it comes to certain judgments, you want to look at it as like, since if you don't know the whole matter, just know that especially when it comes to when you look at the situation, if it doesn't really make full sense, you don't want to just have a complete conclusion on that, and that's what I want to deal with a little bit with this article and another article, and show you why I'm saying that. So we'll watch a little bit of this because it's just real odd. It's real odd the way that they say it. So we're gonna watch this one. I'm gonna explain why. We're gonna get to some precepts.
A 40-year-old man who fatally shot himself, his wife, and his 5 young children faxed a letter to the local TV station that him and his wife had been fired from their job at the hospital and that they planned to escape everything by killing the whole family because it would be better to end all of their lives than leave their children in the hands of someone else. After reading the letter, someone from the TV station called the police and officers were dispatched to the man's home. Once inside, an officer said everybody was shot in the head and some was shot multiple times. His wife's body was found upstairs in the bedroom, and his children's bodies were found alongside him in another bedroom. A neighbor said, I thought I was hearing firecrackers, not gunshots. The hospital was investigating the couple for misrepresenting their employment to an outside agency in order to receive child care assistance. Listen, your life is worth way more than your job. Your job is just a place that you go to generate income so you could take care of you and your family. And I know a lot of y'all know that, but it's a lot of y'all who done got confused. Working that 12-hour shift, coming in on your off days, you don't even know what to do when you ain't at work. Listen to me. Your job don't owe you nothing. And your job will show you that if it ever comes down to cutting back on the budget. We need to lay a few people off. And it ain't just here in Louisiana. It's a couple more states too. I don't need to name them. Just know everybody who been here 15 years or more, I'm sorry, but we got to let you go. And if you don't think that can happen to you, I promise you, you're the confused person that I'm talking about.
Now this dude, he making a point, but he ain't doing the work of the Lord, but he's making a point. These jobs don't care about you, Jake. You can be there for 30 years. They be like, we got to make a little bit more bread. Bye. You got to figure out your shit. But it just doesn't make sense that, to me, I'm like, Jake is in the curses, man. Jake don't just lose his job. Like, I'm going to just kill my whole family. Like, Jake don't do that, man. Jake just go get another damn job. Jake is the former of all things. We know how to work, man. And to have multiple shots in some of these children, like that don't make no sense, man. That sounds like a more gruesome murder than just committing suicide and killing your whole family, man. You see what I'm saying? That's going off, man. There's something weird about that. I feel like, to me, as like Esau Edom got to be a little involved with that, man. But I don't know. But I know this: he's an accuser of our brethren, and you mess around and. What if that happened to, a brother, something happened, they planted drugs on him or something and say, oh, yeah, he had all this in his house. You don't want to just straight believe that kind of stuff, man. Okay? Especially when it comes to brothers, you just want to pray to see, because especially if a brother's doing the work and he diligent, you don't want to just automatically, that person was wicked, You want to make sure you know the whole matter first. You didn't really talk to that brother, So I'm just dealing with trying to make an example to show that just because they put a story out on the news don't mean it's true. It said there are forgers of lies and physicians of no value. Okay, and we're gonna show another one to show like, man, that's a little fishy, man. Jake don't just do all that kind of shit, man. That's going way too left, man. But there is people waxing worse and worse. But for that, nah, man. They would have just went and got another hospital job. The fuck? They got the experience to just go get another job. There's plenty of other hospitals. Act like it's the only hospital in the whole fucking world or something. That don't make no sense, man. Jake, I don't think that Jake did that. But we'll see. We'll see, But it says not to meddle too much in other affairs. So we just gonna do it based off the scriptures, to just use it as an example, to be like, pray for your brethren around you that's in the like-minded doctrine, Jake. Because some they can falsely accuse him, and you just automatically, oh yeah, he was a wicked. No, he might not have been. He might not have did it. You want to pray for him, say, Lord, whatever's going on in his life, Lord willing, he didn't do it, and and if he did, then he did. But it's better to think mercy upon Jake, just like the elders been saying. You know, that's why they're telling us that kind of stuff. So we're going to point this out. Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach, which is it's talking about Yahawashi. It means Hamashiach is how they say Christ. We say Hamashiach. That means anointed one. That's how you say it in the ancient Hebrew. The Lashawan Qadash. That's how you say that, right? For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them for the Most High day and night, and that's what they do. They accuse our brethren. That's why I said that everybody's going to hate us for His name's sake. They're going to accuse us and say that we all types of stuff that we not, you know, and that's what Jake's got to get ready for. They're going to accuse us as criminals, child molesters, rapists, whatever. We ain't done none of that shit. You can't look at our record and say we done none of that shit, man. You know, and the ones that did come at the elders and apostles, a great millstone, and the followers like me that came down and said stuff like that, Lord dealt with their ass, man. And sometimes that stuff come by, you know, and they come by in Jake's life. But you gotta make sure that you don't panic, you know, because the elders and apostles, they're not gonna just they like to consider a whole matter first before they just jump into something like, yeah, that's what it is. No, they wait. They wait a lot of the times, and they don't say nothing about it until the Spirit comes on them and says, yeah, this is that's how you need to come across this. And that's been, what we need to, we need to make sure we're doing. This is, following their footsteps and considering the whole matter before we just get into it, and start saying stuff about it, and if we do, we try to use it as edification to show that just wait a little bit, Jake. All things are going to come to light. This is Proverbs chapter 18, verse 13. If he answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him. We didn't hear the whole matter. We just heard a news article that said that they did all that, but we don't know. Those people ain't even around no more, so we don't know what happened in that situation, because they trying to make it seem like how they know that they did it because of the hospital situation. How do they know that? How do they know it was just because they got fired from the hospital? That don't make no sense. They didn't send no messages saying that they were going to do it for that. They didn't leave no letters saying they was going to do that, right? We don't know what happened to them people, man. But whatever it was, they didn't have the covering of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. They might have been some good Jakes. But if you're not serving Yahawah, Yahawashi, the devil can come and kill, steal, and destroy, man. They might have been some outstanding Jakes, not bad people, did their job, didn't curse out a lot of people, but bet you this, they go to church on Sunday, they worshiping Jesus Christ, and the Lord say, hey, suddenly your calamity is going to come on you, man. It could be that, but we don't know. So I wanted to go into the book of Barak, chapter 13, or chapter 11, okay? And I want to read it also a little bit, and the book of Barak is also the book of Ecclesiasticus. But I want to go into this a little bit. I want to read it in a good news translation too. It's a pretty good version as well, the good news translation. But we're gonna start at 1 and we're gonna read to like around 13. So it reads, wisdom lifteth up the head of him that is of low degree, right? The meek. You see, that's why we tell Jake, quit chasing all this bread. If the Lord is lifting up them in the spirit that are of low degree and down there at the bottom and struggling, and maketh them to sit among great men. And that's how we are as young brothers coming in the truth. We're not sitting equally with the elders, but we're sitting around them in the spirit in a way of like we're understanding what they're saying. We're posting scriptures and sharing their videos and stuff. That's us basically sitting with them. Okay, we're sitting in the safe zone. Okay, of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. We're sitting in that tower with them. They're up there closer to the Most High than us because they've been going through afflictions that we haven't experienced because we haven't been in the truth that long like them. So that's why we keep following them and seeing like, oh, they already went through all that, so we need to just stick around with how they acted. Because that's how they made it through those afflictions, and a lot of afflictions, the elders, you'll never know them. You'll never know until we get to the kingdom of heaven. They like, this is what your elders went through. This is why they were your elders, because they was going through this kind of stuff. You're like, damn, They was going through that. Like, you wouldn't even believe it. Right? And maketh him to sit among men and great men. And that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to accuse our elders and apostles in that day. You better not motherfucking be on some, Jake talking about some, look, GMS going on. You better not do it, Jake. This counsel shall stand, Jake. You better not go out and start making some random ass videos and doing it all fucking fast and not praying for the elders whenever the Esau Edom so-called white man tries to accuse them. You better stay on their side. Okay? Stay here. If you don't, Jake, you fucking through, man. So commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outwards appearance, right? So it's saying, don't just look at a man and be like, oh yeah, man, he dressed nice. Because Esau Edom dressed in suits all day. But that motherfucker is the wicked of the planet, But it says also, don't abhor me strongly dislike a man for his outwards appearance. So, just because you look at Jake like, he might not look so clean all the time. He just got a regular ass garment on or something. That don't mean shit. He probably a real good man of the Lord, a contrite man of the Lord. So don't be looking at a man for his outward appearance. See what he's saying. Verse 3, the bee is little among such as a fly, but the fruit of the chief of the sweet things, and we'll break that down in a second in the Good News translation, says, boast not of thy clothing and raiment, right? Don't be talking about, oh, I got all these clothes, nice clothes. That's what the rappers do. Got all these nice clothes, house, car, bitches, right? So don't boast yourself when you got that stuff, and exalt not thyself in the day of honor, right? Because the Lord's going to do that. He's going to exalt you and put you where you're supposed to be if you're of the elect. For the works of the Lord are wonderful. His works among men are hidden. So there's some things that the Lord does around us and we don't even know, but we have faith, that, if we follow his commandments and we do what he tells us to do, in the end, we're going to come out good. We're going to come out like, yeah, we're straight. We're going to come out and we're going to be like, damn, the Lord took care of us. It says many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that is never thought of hath worn the crown. See? And that's how it was with Yahawashi. He's the greatest example of that. He received dominion of the planet, and he was sacrificed for Israel, and a lot of people didn't think of him, man. That the world didn't think about him, and he was the one actually wearing the crown the whole time. He had dominion over everything on the planet, and he came down here, and 2/3 of his people and everybody else crucified him, man. Okay, the Romans. You see? And nobody ever thought he'd be the one that had the crown except who? The elect, ones who love the Lord, right? Many mighty men have been greatly disgraced, and the honorable delivered into other men's hands. Who's that talking about? Israel. We got delivered into slavery. We went into slavery through the Atlantic slave trade. Like it says in Deuteronomy 28:68. The honorable of us, the ones that really love the Lord, we had to go through slavery too. Back in that day. So verse 7, blame not therefore, thou hast examined the truth. Understand first and then rebuke. So there's things that you want to wait till come to light before you start rebuking a certain way. Okay. Verse 8, answer not before thou hast heard the cause, neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk. So, you got somebody come to the camp, they want to talk to you and stuff. Listen to them, see what they got to say. And after they done talking, tell them what it is, even though, you got more knowledge than them. That's how the Lord likes to set up, you see? And, that's what we're doing. We examine things first. And then we say, well, you're going off here, you're going off here, you're going off here. We want to see what you think about the word, and, that's the best way to be as Jake, more patient than others around you, And when we hear calls, like we heard that calls talking about them people who killed their whole family or whatever, them Jakes. Like, I don't know about that. Jake don't do stuff like that, man. Jake don't really do stuff like that. Jake is an endurer. Even 2/3, they're just endurers in a different way. They're gonna be chasing the bag door. A lot of them don't, just do that. And then the ones that do, most of them is Esau Edom. Jake is a strong nation, man. Even the weakest of us, period. That's why the Lord's coming back to get their ass too. right? So strive not in a matter that concerneth thee not, and sit not in judgment with sinners, right? Says, my son, meddle not with many matters. Like, don't be getting in everybody else's business, you know? But when it's like you see an article in the Lord to bring that to light, we can talk about that stuff. That's right out there for everybody to see. We're supposed to actually point that stuff out, you see? But you're not supposed to just get into stuff and be pointing out everybody's business, you know, unless the Lord to put it out there for you to talk about it. For if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. And if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain. Neither shalt thou escape by fleeing, right? There is one that laboreth and taketh pains and maketh haste, and is so much more behind. I want to put this in Good News Translation because it's a good analogy to this, you know, like there's some people who work their ass off, they slave their ass out here for Esau Edom, and they still set back, you know, they still not getting nowhere, you know. Verse 12 again, there is another that is slow and hath need of help, wanting ability and full of poverty. Yet the eye of the Lord looked upon him for good and set him up from his low estate. See? So if you in a low estate, Jake, and I was with Jake who was in a low estate. Still today, I ain't doing perfect. I ain't got everything going on in my life, but the Lord has raised me up from the poverty that I was in last year. He put me in a better position. Because why? Because I put the word of the Lord first. I put his work first and the brotherhood first, you know? So, and lifted up his head from misery, right? So that many that saw it marveled at him. So, you know, you got people who are going to look and be like, damn, he really changed his stuff. But don't even worry about that, Jake. You know, just keep following the Lord. Don't start exalting yourself and feeling like you did something. The Lord did it, you know? So, you know, this is the 14th verse, and then we're going to go read it in the Good News Translation. It says, prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord. Verse 15, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord. Love and the way of good works are from him. So when we do good works, we get set up in a position where we're living better and whatnot. It's coming from the Lord, not from us. So I want to go over here and put it in the GNT, the Good News Translation. I'm going to read it right there. Shalom to everybody who came in here and on after Yahawah, Rawchaa, Bahasham, Qadash, Barak, Atham. So this is Sirach chapter 11, verse 1. It says, if a poor person is wise, he has a good reason to be proud, and he will be thought of as someone great. See? And it's not saying like proud in a way like, oh, I'm better than other people. It's like proud, like, man, I'm serving Yahawah, Yahawashi, man. I'm not letting money make me feel like I'm inadequate, you know, to the purpose the Lord has gave me. You know, it's like that kind of spirit. Like, yeah, man, like, you know, we know this is the best thing to do, you know, and we're happy that we're here. So then we're going to go keep reading verse 2. It says, do not compliment a person of his good looks, right? On the other hand, do not look down on someone who is unattractive. See? And see how it breaks it down a little bit more for you to see like what it's saying, you know? So you got to want to be balanced. You know, you want to look at somebody's spirit, not about their outward look. Verse 3, compared to the most flying things, a bee is very small, but the honey it makes is the sweetest of foods. See? And another thing with the bees, without them, there's no pollen being moved around. And the whole world is just, no trees will produce CO2 or nothing. It just, produce oxygen. So, hold on. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll call you later. It's nothing. All right. I'll do that, but I'm doing a video right now, so yeah, don't worry about it. All right. So lock here. So as I was saying, you know, it's very small. Just like the prophets, they looked at it as a small thing in the world. we're looked at as we're not significant, but we're giving you what? This truth, you know, and it's the best for you. It's basically the analogy what it's saying. So it says, don't make fun of someone who is falling on hard times and is dressed in rags. Don't do that. Don't be going around like being like, oh, that dude, he's, you know, he ain't talking about shit. He, you know, he looking fucked up. He dirty as hell and shit, especially if they're teaching the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord's finna raise that guy up. And Lord, you be over here making fun of somebody who went through that shit and they believe in the Lord and they really teaching this word of Yahawah, Yahawashi. You making fun of them? Lord, put your ass in that situation. And then your ass like, fuck. Okay? That's why we like be like, hey, that outward appearance shit is real big deal. Okay? Because all jakes are going to fall in the hard times, especially if you're doing this work. Job was considered one of the most righteous men, and the Lord took everything from his ass. Okay? But he did not lose his integrity. He was a rich man. He had bread, okay? Like money. And not just talking about some dollars. He had like cattle and fucking all types of riches, man. He had resources. That's a different type of riches, man. Money is just a measurement of riches. He had real riches, man. And the Lord took all that and his children. And he still didn't lose integrity of the Lord. But his woman did. That's why we telling you women out there. That's why a lot of us, we like, we fuck with y'all, you know, to the best of our abilities, but we know most of y'all is not gonna, y'all not gonna ride for Yahawah, Yahawashi like us, man. That's why you got to be one of us and serve us. But Job's wife was considered a very righteous woman, and she literally told him, "Curse the Lord and die." Whenever he lost everything, he said, "Sound like one of the foolish women. Did I not teach? I ain't teach you nothing. You ain't been listening. You ain't been watching what's really going on. This is a test from the Lord." He said, "What you think you're just gonna receive good from the Lord, and not receive evil?" He said, Isaiah 45:7, he create the lightness and the darkness, good and evil. You're gonna receive evil from the Lord to get tested to see if you're really righteous. And what are the righteous doing evil? They endure. Okay, that's why the Lord set men up to do this. Because why? Because we got the fucking balls in this motherfucker. We're gonna go. You know, we're not gonna get in our emotions and fucking give up. That's why he had us set it up like that. You know, I'm not saying that women is just like completely inadequate. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying y'all are the weaker vessel. So the Lord was going to set y'all up to run this ministry because y'all fall out because you don't understand what it means to be a man of the Lord. You're not going to understand that. You're never going to understand that. And be glad you don't, because this shit ain't no fucking game. Anyways, the Lord does wonderful things that human beings never notice. See? Verse 5, many are the kings who have ended their careers sitting on the ground, right? While their crowns were worn by those no one had heard of before. So the Lord has taken, just like when it came to Saul. Saul had he was the king, and he took him down and put up King David. Nobody knew about King David until the Lord set him up. Then he was exalted, because he didn't exalt himself, the Lord did. Right? Verse 6, many rulers who have suffered disgrace. Many are the famous people who have fallen into the power of others. You see? And you know that one's a little bit, I like the way the King James Version explains it better, because in a way it says that we are well known but not known. So we were looked at as famous at that time. When you were the elect, you were there at the beginning of time, and all the other nations knew who we were, and they didn't like us because we were perfect. You see, because it wasn't just Adam and Eve in the garden. Okay, but we ain't gonna get too deep into that, But in a short term sense, we were called the Adamites. Okay, it wasn't just Adam and Eve. It was. That's why the angels, when you look in Genesis, it said, "Let us make man in our image." Our image. So there was an R. It was a plural. It was like more than just one person there. Okay. It was more than just the Lord. He had his elect with him, his elect men. They helped build the world with him. That's why they're receiving dominion now. Okay. So, anyways, because I don't want to get too deep into it. So, verse 7 says, be cautious. It says, before you start criticizing, get your facts straight and think the matter through. So we think about things. We make sure we saying something that also is applied with mercy. We don't just be like, as soon as somebody died, we're like, oh, the Lord ain't dealing with them. That ain't true. That ain't true. The prophets were all put to death back then. Isaiah got sawed in fucking half, man. Isaiah, he was one of the major prophets. The Lord put spirit on them demons and they saw his ass in half, man. And the Lord was seriously dealing with him. Okay? So this is why we're telling you, just because we see one of the men of the Lord, they perish or something on this side, don't mean that the Lord ain't dealing with them, man. They had to die for his sakes to show their faith. So you gotta get the facts straight. Was that a man of the Lord? Was he doing the work? Did he give a shit about the Lord? Did he love the brotherhood? Was he a selfish brother? Wasn't a selfish brother? You got to take all that stuff to account, man. And you're gonna know if a brother's selfish or not because you're gonna see it in their works. So if they try to do it says don't it's like I said, before you start criticizing, get your facts straight and think the matter through. Don't interrupt while someone is speaking. Hear what he has to say before you answer. You know, and sometimes that's hard because you got some people they don't understand that. They don't have that humbleness. So when you try to explain something to them, or when you try to talk, somebody try to tell you something, and then you listen to everything they say, and you try to explain to them, they done cut your ass off in the middle of your ass trying to answer everything they just said. So just Jake, just balance it out. You know, if they be like that, just be like, all right, I don't even tell you, I don't even want to talk to you about it. All right, moving on. You know, and sometimes it's good to show them that scripture and be like, look, you say you love the Lord, right? Well, I'm gonna answer you. I want you to tell me what you think. I'm gonna answer all that. Then we'll go to the next conversation. So it says, for instance, here is someone who never stops working like a slave, but gets further behind all the time. See? So, you know, you got these people out here, they'll work their ass off like a motherfucker to try to get somewhere, and they ended up being set back. Because why? Because they try to do it on their own. You know, we are brotherhood. We do these things together, you know, and we move forward. And sometimes it don't look like you're moving forward, but we're moving forward, especially those jakes who are subject to payments. Because them jakes that are subject to payments, they really are moving forward. They're getting their debts paid and they still able to, you know, sustain, you know, to an extent. So you're still moving forward, Jake. And that's something that, you know, I had to learn over time too, to understand, like, man, you know, because I had certain shit that I had to deal with. But I was like, the Lord's like, you still getting ahead. You know, I was sleeping in a damn closet last year. Now I actually living somewhere. I actually got a place now, you know, with somebody, you know, that's close to the Lord as well, you know, right? So, you know, anyway, still moving. Says, on the other hand, someone else may be very poor and not up to his task. He may be slow and he may need help, but the Lord is pleased with him and pulls him out of his bad situation. See? So you had the one person busting their ass, they ain't make it out. When somebody else, they need a little bit of help, they go a little slower, they ain't making as much bread. Lord pulled him out of their situation. See? When he is back on his feet again, everyone is astounded. You know, they're like, damn, how did he make it out of that shit? This ass low as hell. You know? That's how it's gonna be with Jake. Jake done the shit, working all his life for nothing the whole time we've been here through the curses. And Lord gonna put us get out of this bad situation that's coming as Jacob's trouble. They're like, damn, how the hell they get out of here? How the hell they get beamed up in some chariots and we all got left here for the missiles? They're gonna be astounded, okay? You're gonna be grinding your teeth together. You're gonna be fucking pissed, okay? But you're not coming. You know, that's why we want to be, you know, the elect. Verse 14, everything comes from the Lord, success and failure, poverty and wealth, life and death, wisdom, understanding, knowledge of the law, love and doing of good deeds. All these come from the Lord. So that's why we don't lift ourselves up like that when we do good deeds. We know that's the Lord doing that. And we're just glad that he's got us in the spirit to do that. So we got, you know, that one right there, right? Talking about that wife. And now there's another one. And this one didn't make sense to me either, because I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like they make it almost seem like they was trying to get caught. It just doesn't make sense. But it says former teacher of the year, right? Teacher of the year means what? You like loved your children, you loved your students, you taught them well, you know, you were engaged, you know, in teaching your students and whatnot. It says former teacher of the year started suspicious fire that killed her 4 young kids hours after posting live each day like it's your last. That don't make no sense, man. Why would she do that? You see her right here. She don't look like a bad Eve. She seemed like you know, the children look, you know, they don't look wicked. They, you know, they look like just some regular Jakes, you know, but they might not be Jake. They might be Esau because you don't see the father. Father's not around. But you know, for them to say that she just did that, you know, it don't make no sense. And it talks about how they think it was the husband too, kind of going into it and whatnot, but it don't really say nothing about it. But let me see if I can find it. It says after the time of her death, Prunicer was in an awful place due to an ongoing litigation with her ex-husband and the father of her own twin daughter. He explained it and whatnot. She do that. Well, what she get? You know, they just ruling as a murder-suicide. Esau could have did this now for people to destroy, man. They're like, man, you need to work. It's going to be falsely accusing a lot of people in that day. So let me get over here. I want to go into a couple other things, and we out of here. So it says Charlemagne the God, right? And you know, we know he ain't no God. But it says in the scripture, it says, know that ye are gods, right? We are, you know, Jake are, you know, we're little G's, we're little gods. And people don't think that now. But if we're one of those men, one of those 144,000 men, elect men, you're gonna know that we're gods, because we're gonna be going around flying and beaming motherfuckers and doing all types of shit, levitating, teleporting, doing all types of shit. You'll be like, oh fuck, Yahawashi is dealing with them. Slams, Fox News contributed for saying black people will vote for Trump because they love sneakers, right? So you got these, you know, showing that they're racist towards Jake, but the Lord is racist. The Lord hates Esau, Edom. You see, so this who you think they learned it from? They learned it from our Creator, so that's why they like that. So then we got another one that's kind of like, damn, like they know Jake under the curses. Okay, it said Trump suggesting so-called black voters relate to his indictments. Relate to his pronouncement, like prompt swift backlash. So basically, he was saying like most Jakes like him because he didn't got in trouble with the law. He didn't got indicted. You know what I'm saying? And that's even more proof to show Jake is under the curses, man. We the ones be going through that shit. You know, it's mainly so-called Negroes, Native Americans, okay, in the prisons, man, and the Latinos. Okay, and West Indians and Asians. Most of us be the one in damn prisons. He talking about we like him because his ass got a damn charge. Yo, ass ain't even been to jail. You ain't done no time, motherfucker. You know, and I'm a Jake that ain't even really done no time. So we know ain't proud of doing no damn time. These motherfuckers, they hate Jake. But this is part of the curses. This is the kind of shit that the Lord said that we're gonna go through if we start going off. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 18. And it reads, he that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth a slander is a fool. So these are foolish people. These are not people that, you know, you want to look up to. You don't look up to these motherfucking bastards. This is Psalm chapter 101, verse 5. And it reads, whoso privately slandereth his neighbor, and this is more dealing with Jake. You know, so you don't want to be talking behind your brother's back. You don't want to be in. When we talk about brothers, we're talking about people who are worshiping Yahawah, Yahawashi, fellow brothers. You know, we're not going to consider you as a brother if you're not taking heed to what their brotherhood is telling you to do. You can't be part of the brotherhood and then you not listen to the brotherhood. This is plain, right? It says, Whoso privately slandereth his neighbor, him I will cut off. Him that hath an high look and a proud heart, which is mine, lob, it's talking about your mind, will I not suffer. So the Lord, like, I ain't gonna even deal with you. So that's why we don't deal with people that are like that. You know, Matthew 12:36. And it reads, but I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. And that's Yahawashi speaking. And the day of judgment, they're gonna have to give account of all the things that they said, talking shit on Jake, man. They're gonna be taking, it's gonna be taken account of all that slandering. But this is part of the curses. Deuteronomy chapter 38 or chapter 28, verse 37. Hold up. And it reads, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. See, so that's what they do. They look at us like a joke, you know, a byword, you know, a slander, you know, call us niggas and spinks and porch monkeys, wetbags and savages. That's what they call the people of the Lord, man. So now we're moving on. This was actually a pretty interesting. I haven't seen a lot of topics go into this, but it's this homeless guy out in the street, right? And this is we're gonna go on this. We're gonna go into this. It says pigeons on meth and fentanyl. A homeless man says birds are now regularly being fed drugs for entertainment. Drugs have become so cheap, it's becoming a new pastime for some. I've had multiple homeless share similar stories. So we're gonna watch this video of this guy talking. We're gonna go into a couple precepts to show you that this is showing that Esau Edom's kingdom is falling, man. Okay, they're doing a lot of wickedness.
They get feed meth too. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure everybody. Yeah, there's some strung out. They're all fettied out, and they're all like strung out on foil. You see them like poking at foils and shit. I'll like throw a piece of bread out. They won't even go for the bread anymore. They'll just be hovering over the foil, just picking at like this old burnt foil. It's not even like a drug foil. I don't think it's just like a foil from like a food wrapper or something. But they're like, that's how strung out they are. In Europe right now, the pigeons are actually eating. They're cannibalism. They're actually eating each other. Some crazy shit like that. I watched this documentary, and they're eating rats. Oh no, it's a seagull. A seagull eating a rat. So a seagull eating a rat. So that's what we're about to become like.
See, you hear him? He said that's how we're about to become. There's gonna be people eating other people and shit. And there's accounts of cannibalism in the Bible. That's what's coming. And we know because the state of the animals and what they're doing. The animals and stuff show us what's going to start coming to humans are going to start doing that on a mass scale. This Job chapter 12 verse 7. And I don't know if you can hear him too much, but he was saying the birds are just pecking at fucking foil and shit. And he throw some bread out, and the bird wouldn't even eat the damn bread. They go over there and start poking at the damn foil. And he had birds eating other birds. The birds don't eat each other, man. They eating each other. And then he said a seagull was eating a rat, man. And that's the Lord. He's putting spirit on these devils to fuck with the animals, but he's foreshadowing you like this what humans is about to be like. And be fucking fucked off. So Job chapter 12, verse 7. But ask now the beasts, and they shall teach thee, and the fowls of the air, and they shall tell thee. So Jake doesn't literally mean you go up to a bird and say, what are you doing? Like, no, you just observe them. Like, what are they doing? You know, that kind of shit showing you that something's about to happen, right? Verse 8, or speak to the earth and it shall teach thee, and the fishes of the sea shall declare unto thee. That's why you had that one movie, Leave the World Behind. They had all them deer just standing there, it's fucking stuck, showing you like something's going to start fucking going down, okay? And when animals start malfunctioning like that and shit, you know, showing you shit's going to start fucking up, you know? So I got one more scripture on it to show you this is why the Lord's got to cut off man and beast, you know, because you know the beast is bugging out because Esau Edom drugging their ass up and shit. It said that some of them Edomites is stringing out them damn drugs on them damn animals just because they bored. Okay, that's how wicked Esau Edom is. Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and that's not just here in America, Babylon the Great. He's going to cut that everywhere, right? And will cut off man and beast from it. I will make it desolate from Teman, which is talking about, the Germans, and they of the Dan shall fall by the sword. So that's even showing over there. That's where he was at over there. He was over there in the United Kingdom, somewhere over there in the east. Okay, he's going to show they're going to cut them off, and we see how, because they were where they animals acted. Now we got another one. This woman right here, they played this a while back. I think it was like last year, but she was the first woman to get this tattoo on her face. We're going to kind of show you that tattoos is going off. That's all. Let me show you real quick.
Help me serve you. Vote yes to renew the agreement on March 5th.
Orini Kaipara has been a journalist for almost 20 years, focusing on issues of the country's indigenous Maori people. In 2019, she chose to get a moko kawai, a traditional face tattoo for Maori women. That's when she became the first person with such a tattoo to anchor a mainstream television program. Tamoko is a practice that started to disappear after the colonization of New Zealand in the 1800s. But since the 1980s, there have been initiatives to revive the Maori culture. The tattoos are very personal and represent a person's identity, heritage, and social status. Kaipara has said that she is committed to restoring Maori traditions and preserving the language. She says having a presence on mainstream media is not only groundbreaking for her culture, but for all people of color. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
So see, this is and some of the northern tribes did that as well, but it's a sin, it's going off. We're not supposed to do that kind of stuff. But when Jake, the Native Americans, so-called Native Americans, the Gadites and Benjamites and them, they came over here to America, Babylon the Great, to try to serve this place and other four corners of the earth. As you can see, these people aren't here, but we're going to go into it. But they're doing stuff like tattoos and stuff, and tattoos is going off. And we're not saying that if you got a tattoo, you just threw, but you don't want to get no more if you got them. If you come into this truth, don't get no more. So, like I said, the Maori, right? Maori people, right? So as a member of the indigenous people of New Zealand. So Jake, even over there in New Zealand, Jake scattered across four corners of the earth. Polynesian language of the Maori Tirio. Okay, and some of them are Jake, some of them aren't, depending on who their father was. It's just, it's really like a language more than anything. And, they're in New Zealand, basically. And I seen another article that said some of them come out of Taiwan. I can't remember where it's at. See if I can find it. Man, I don't know. It's talking about like some of them to believe to be Hawaii, Hawaiian and whatnot. But it was some in there talking about some of them come out of Taiwan too. I can't remember where it is, but that's just a little bit of information on them. They're just like, some more Israelites, some of them. Shalom, shalom, bro. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash, Barak. Live in the spirit, 144K. The water for tuning in, bro. I'm just about done. I'm about to go to Leviticus 19:28. Show you that, tattoos is not something we're supposed to do. And it reads, you shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. So this is things that, we don't want to do. It's going off. We want to follow the laws to the best of our ability. So if you got a tattoo you didn't know, okay, that's fine. But if you just keep going to go get them, then the Lord gonna be like, you're supposed to be rehearsing the righteous acts, which is not doing that. Okay, that's my last one, and then we done. It says construction workers being replaced by AI robot bricklayers, man. So it's gonna come to a point where you just see just straight robots on the street building the shit. You ain't gonna see no more humans out there. That's a lot of jobs being lost. Like, let's look it up. How many construction workers are in the U.S.? It says over 8 million people since January. So 8 million people are at risk of losing their jobs and have some damn robots take over their shit. Okay, and this is, we always bring this up. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 15. You watch me, you didn't know this scripture by now. It reads, neither shall there be any work for Egypt. And this place is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, as it says in Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. Right? Which the head or tail branch or rush may do, And, for those who are new, you like to think about it in a way like it's another analogy that shows that this is the new Egypt because there's pyramids on the dollar. Egypt was where we were in slavery last time. And where are we at now? We in slavery over here today. We just actually get a little bit of provisions for it, but it's not enough, and they tax it. And the only reason why they're giving us a little bit, so why? So they can stimulate the economy, because they know there's not enough, they're not making enough money to keep the system floating. That's why they're letting in all these migrants in too. So that's what I got for today. Lord willing, is edifying to the flock. Shalom to elect Israel, to the hopeful elect Israel. Oh, hold on. Let's do this from bro before we close out. So says Hebrews chapter 6, verse 6. If they shall fall away, to renew them again unto repentance, seeing they crucify to themselves the Son of the Most High afresh, and put him to an open shame. And see, that's what happened to a lot of our people. They don't know how to serve the Lord, so they try to come back in a way that's it's going off, and it puts them to an open shame. And we don't want to be those people. We want to make sure that our sacrifice is actually worth something to the Lord, because you're shaming the Lord if you're saying you love the Lord and you're not doing it the way the elders and apostles said to do it, man. And also, brother said, like the Ock from Los Angeles shared a video a while back about how the body tries to fight off the ink from tattoos. Yeah, and that's the same way with, like, how you got some jakes who are like, oh well, why can't we smoke weed? Well, because when you smoke, what does your body do? You cough. Which means what? Your body's trying to reject it. It's like, I don't want that. You see? So that's a way of knowing that shit ain't good for you, So but that's all I got. Lord willing, is edifying to the flock. Shalom to elect Israel, to the hopeful elect Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. Want to give all praise to Barak, Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Led us all to this truth. Been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the elected, to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we part of that number. Lord willing, let's be edifying to those who fear the name of the Lord and are striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 5. It is not slack. 2 Peter 3:9 is unto a ring. 2 Esdras 5:42. Above the waterfall, you sincere believers tuning in here and on after. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash, Barak, Atham. Lord willing, is edifying to the flock. Peace and blessing to the elect. Kwame El Sharala. Shalom.